Okay. Hi, everyone. My presentation today is about laws and policies on social enterprise in China. Um, Social enterprise is still a relatively new concept in China, but it has gained increasing popularity among both practitioners and local policy makers. And since it is a new notion, there are still great disputes over what social enterprise is and how broad the definition should be. And generally, there are some agreed upon key elements, including the primacy of social goals, financial sustainability, and innovation. The healthy and sustainable development of social enterprise relies on an enabling legal environment. However, China's current legal framework on social enterprise is still quite immature. At the national level, level, uh, there is currently no legislation specifically regulating social enterprise, and there is not yet any legal document mentioning the term of social enterprise. At the local level, there have been some policy pilots in this area. Specifically, several accreditation systems have been rolled out in recent years. Also, I'd like to emphasize that when we say laws and regulations on social enterprise, it should not be understood as any single piece of law, but rather a set of mutually complementing laws and regulations. And the purpose of this study is to systematically discuss these laws and policies. At the national level, since there is not yet any specific SE law, general organizational and behavior laws apply. So social enterprise can only choose from existing legal forms for traditional for-profit and non-profit organizations. There are mainly four types of legal forms. The first one is non-profit type, named civilian-run non-enterprise units, the CNUs. It is one of the three legal forms for nonprofit in China, and is the most suitable for social enterprise. The other two being associations and foundations. The next two forms are companies. According to the Chinese law, companies can only be established for for-profit purposes. And there are two major types. The LLCs are smaller companies with no more than 50 shareholders, and how the shares and returns are divided are flexible. CLS are larger companies, and the ownership of the companies is required to be divided into equal shares. Farmers specialized cooperatives, the FCS, are also considered by some scholars as an indigenous form of SE, and there is a special law for it. Social welfare enterprise serve people with disabilities by providing jobs, but its accreditation was abolished in 2016, and it transformed into a tax refund for general companies who hire disabled people. The most relevant behavior law for social enterprise include the charity law, tax law, and policies that encourage social investment. And because of the time limit, I will not go into details about these laws. Here is a summary of the key legal treatment for different forms of social enterprise. First, the nonprofit form of CNU, compared with for-profit forms, are subject to more constraints, especially the non-distribution constraints. And this is corresponding to the potential favorable distribution, favorable treatment for nonprofits, such as tax exemptions and public fundraising qualifications. And I said potential because under Chinese law, these qualifications are not automatically granted. You need to apply for them, and they can be difficult to obtain. Comparatively, small companies and farmer cooperatives can also enjoy some tax benefits, and those are easier to obtain. So the nonprofit form may not look that attractive according to current law. The possible advantage of being a nonprofit is that they can be more credible to some stakeholders, and they may have deeper understanding of social issues. One key legal concern for social enterprise is the reconciliation of the tensions from its hybrid nature. But current Chinese law does not accommodate this hybridity very well. The case might be a little bit better for LLC and FCS. Sorry, it's farmers cooperatives. But concisely speaking, for nonprofits, having too much business activities can jeopardize their tax-exempt status, and for companies pursuing social goals may hurt profitability, and that might violate laws protecting shareholder rights. As for the accreditation policies, now we have 4 localities with a social enterprise accreditation system, which are Chengdu, Shunde, CCF, the China Charity Fair, which is based in Shenzhen and Beijing. They were launched by different entities, so I classify them into 3 models. The first model is government-led accreditation. That is the Chengdu system. Its accreditation started from 2018. It is not the earliest, but it is today the only accreditation that is initiated by a government agency. The Chengdu municipal government authorized the regulator of companies in Chengdu to lead the accreditation. So it's only open to local companies. In practice, they outsource the specific implementation of the accreditation to a professional social enterprise service organization called Social Innovation Star. The second model is accreditation by a chartered entity, and this is the Shunde model. Local Congress of Shunde passed a bill to establish Shunde Social Innovation Center in 2014, and one of its functions is social enterprise accreditation. It is also only open to local for-profit entities. The third model is accreditation by government organized NPOs. The CCF and Beijing accreditors are both nonprofits established by the Civil Affairs Bureau, which is the regulator of nonprofits in China. And they are open to both nonprofit and for-profit applicants. Since CCF is open to applicants from across the country, it has made the largest number of accreditations. All of these accreditation systems went through some change over time, and all have multiple versions. In the article, I did some comparison of these versions with UK's SE mark. And the general pattern I found was that earlier version of accreditation standards resemble the SE mark more, with stricter, more concrete thresholds. But later versions gradually went through a process of domestication and became more flexible and attuned to the Chinese context. To sum up, there are mainly the following shortcomings for China's social enterprise law and policies. First, the lack of consensus of the concept of SE impeded the policy change, policy innovation at a broader scope. Also, as discussed, current nonprofit law and the company law do not accommodate the hybrid nature of social enterprise very well, and the supporting laws and policy for a whole ecosystem for social enterprise is lacking. Correspondingly, the suggestion made are to solve these problems by having some form of formal definition of social enterprise, preferably at the national level, and a modernized organizational law and this can be done either at a minor level by refining existing nonprofit and company law, or have a totally new legal form for social enterprise, such as just like the CIC in the UK or benefit corporation in the US. Last suggestion is to build an enabling ecosystem for the social enterprise, like equity financing, the tax favorable treatment. And that is the end of my presentation. Thank you very much.